On the heels of a Saturday night's main event that saw a new World Heavyweight Champion crowned in the form of CM Punk, WWE rolled into Rio Rancho, New Mexico for a jam-packed episode of Raw that featured the start of the build to Survivor Series on November 29. What went down between the ropes? What went down between the ropes on the mic, in and out of the ring, and how did it all affect the Red Brand ahead of the final premium live event of the year? Find out now with this recap of Monday Night Raw. For this is Ridiculously Raw. Hey there, welcome everybody to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and Streaming.com today. I am your host, Anthony Florio. I am joined by the phenom Michael Bullock. Unfortunately, due to work commitments beyond his control, good old MF Michael Fletcher will not be joining us this evening. He did confirm that he will be back with us on Thursday night for College Football Thursday. Let's not waste much time. We got a bit to get into, so we're going to try to go as rapid fire as we can with this. We started it off with an in-ring segment. It was the new World Heavyweight Champion, CM Punk. And he kicked off Monday's show, hitting the ring to address the fans on his first night with the gold back in his possession. He thanked his wife, AJ Lee, and the man he defeated to regain the gold, Jey Uso. He said 3 minutes was not enough time to hold on to the gold, so he is going to have to make sure he holds on to it a lot longer. He said to Seth Rollins, if you come back and get in my business, I will put you back on the couch. Best in the World called out the Vision as threats, but brought up AJ Styles, Dominic Mysterio, JD McDonough, Finn Balor, Sheamus, and John Cena as guys he wants to fight because they have earned a championship opportunity. Logan Paul interrupted, causing Punk to say, anyone but you. Paul stated his case before the Vision made their presence felt. They issued a warning to Punk and Paul, the latter of whom did not flinch at the prospect of earning a beatdown from the Vision. Breaker claimed Heyman bought everyone else 2 weeks of life and that he is coming for the World Heavyweight Championship. Paul teased walking out on Punk, but returned to the squared circle only to endure a beatdown at the hands of the Vision. Punk cleared the ring of the villains to wrap up the 26-minute promo segment. Abnormally long promo segment right out of the Monday Night Wars. It was 26 minutes of talk, but unlike other bloated promos, this at least was interesting. In one segment, Breaker reintroduced himself to the world title picture, and Logan Paul became more interesting than he has been in at least a year. The YouTuber, when insulted and threatened, stuck up for what was right in the moment and fought back against the Vision. Is he a babyface or a heel? Is he legitimately in this title hunt? That there are those many questions surrounding the guy is evidence that this worked. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Michael Bullock, come on in. Let's get your thoughts on the opening promo. CM Punk cutting his victory lap promo. Once again, the World Heavyweight Champion. Vision gets involved. Logan Paul gets involved. And it sets up a huge tag team main event. CM Punk and Logan Paul versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed.
Yeah, that's a very interesting main event. I mean, you can see why Punk is upset and why he's saying anybody but Logan Paul. I mean, there are more worthy competitors than Logan Paul. And Florida, it almost reminds me of what John Cena said during that feud between Cena and Logan Paul when he said, "I could have been spending part of my retirement tour facing people like Dominic or AJ Styles, more worthy competitors. Instead, I'm wasting my time with a YouTuber."
Yeah.
And that's what CM Punk was probably saying. Like, what did this punk ass bitch do to feel like he earned himself a shot at the title? So yeah, I mean, interesting main event. We'll see what happens. But my advice to you, CM Punk, don't trust this Punk.
I agree.
So it's yours.
First match of the night. Women's World Champion Stephanie Vaquer and WWE Hall of Famer Nikki Bella. They teamed up against Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez win the match 12 minutes and 40 seconds. Roxanne Perez hitting the pop rocks on Nikki Bella for the win. So, Michael Bullock, how about it? Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez win the match. And next Monday night on Raw in Boston, Raquel Rodriguez gets the golden ticket. Raquel Rodriguez will challenge Stephanie Vaquer for the Women's World Championship.
What was the time of the fall?
I'm sorry, 12 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah, I'll give this about maybe 3.25. I mean, I thought it was a good match. It definitely could have been better in some areas, but I think this is the second time, Florio, that Roxanne has pinned Nikki Bella.
You're right. You are correct, sir.
And, but here's the thing. I mean, Raquel Rodriguez is getting the title shot when she didn't even get the pinfall. And yet, Roxanne Perez has pinned the Hall of Famer not once but twice. And if I were Roxanne, I'd be like, wait a minute. Look, I'm happy for Raquel. She's getting the shot, but what about me? Shouldn't I be the one that gets it? I mean, look, I beat a Hall of Famer twice. What do I have to do to be to get a shot? So, very interesting, but I mean, yeah, but Raquel Rodriguez gets the shot, and for Stephanie Vaquer, and I'm gonna, and you know where I'm going this, Florio, going back to the old days.
Absolutely.
For Stephanie Vaquer to beat Raquel Rodriguez, she needs to use her speed, her agility, her cleverness. She cannot match power with Raquel Rodriguez. If she does, she's going to get annihilated.
Absolutely.
So that's what she needs to do if she's going to keep her title.
Absolutely.
Because if she tries to match power with her, we're looking at a new women's world champion.
Absolutely.
So 3.25, it's yours, Florio.
3.25, 3.5. There was a ton of energy to this, and the crowd even greeted one portion of the bout with chants of "This is awesome." But there was some sloppiness down the stretch that hurt the impact of the finish. Still, it was nice to see the Judgment Day score a big win here. While Nikki Bella's continued failures likely set the stage for a heel turn and a battle with Vaquer over the title eventually. So 3.25, 3.5. Then we had Penta squaring off against El Grande Americano. Penta wins the match, 10 minutes and 20 seconds. And I stand corrected. When it comes to the main event matchup, it's CM Punk and Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, not Logan Paul. So I apologize for that little error there. Now let's get to this. Penta over El Grande Americano, 10 minutes, 20 seconds. Whereas the before match suffered from a disjointed spot or two down the stretch, this one was hurt by overbooking involving Los Americanos that took away from what was a fairly strong match up until that point. Penta scored what was a nice bounce-back victory here, while the heels lose nothing in defeat. It was a fun, inoffensive use of TV time, but the follow-up will be important to Penta, who is still prominently featured, but feels as though he has lost momentum compared to where he was earlier in the year. I'll give this 3 to 3.25 stars. Bullet, quick thought.
Yeah, 3.25 for me on this one. I mean, yeah, you pretty much said what you said, Florio, so let's move on.
Another promo segment. It was Dominic Mysterio. Just give you one moment here. I've got a block in my way. Okay. Fresh off of his 9th successful defense of the Intercontinental Championship Saturday night, Dominic Mysterio hit the ring for a promo and wasted no time, claiming there was no one who could stop him. Enter his father, Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio, who returned after a lengthy foot injury. The Hall of Famer took exception to his son, claiming to be the king of the luchadors, calling it an insult to El Santo, Blue Demon, and Eddie Guerrero. Dirty Dom claimed to be better than all of them, and more importantly, knows he is better than his father. Rey warned his son, "You can disrespect me all you want, but I won't let you disrespect Lucha Libre." The elder warned that as long as he is around, Dom will never be king of the luchadors, and ended the segment by blocking a cheap shot and delivering a 619. Well, Bullock, it looks like Rey and Dom are on another collision course. Maybe for that Triple A Mega Campeon?
Yeah, I could see that for the Mega Campeon, and because isn't Rey a former champion?
I believe he is.
Well, what about when when Dominic, well, of course, when Ray mentioned Eddie Guerrero, says, "You leave
Keep
my
keep my
father out of
father's
this."
name out of your mouth. Yeah,
I'm
what do
like,
you think about that?
I'm like, really? You still claim that Eddie Guerrero is your real father? How about the man that made you who you are today? And what Rey
Disrespectful little
Mysterio
brat.
said is 100% true. As long as Rey Mysterio is around, you will never, and I repeat, Dominic, you will never, ever be king of the luchadors. And I know if Michael Fletcher were here right now, he'd be like, don't you dare disrespect Dominic like that. And
He probably
I'd be
would have.
like, yeah, well, what about all the distasteful things that Dominic has done? And you're going to try to defend that bullshit?
Heel commentator. That's what heel commentators do.
and here's the thing for it. I heard rumors about some kind of a special stipulation when it comes to those two.
Mask versus title.
No, Mask versus Hair.
Mask versus hair. Ooh.
Probably you could still do that. With the title being on the line.
Oh, definitely.
And the thing is, if Dominic Mysterio wins, then Ray would, for the first time in his legendary career,
Second
he would
time.
have to unmask in front of the entire world.
He did so once before in WCW in 1999.
Well, first time in WWE.
First time in WWE, but the second time overall. Super Brawl.
But if Ray wins, then Dominic gets his head shaved.
Then Dominic would get his head shaved.
That's what I've been hearing. So
I would how would Dominic look as a cue ball?
Oh, I'd be laughing my ass off with him.
And in addition to that, not only does he lose his hair,
Baldy.
Not only, and I would add another stipulation. Not only does he lose his hair, but he's also got to get rid of that Tom Selleck-like mustache. And by the way, Tom Selleck is way better with that.
Oh yeah, Tom Selleck.
Magnum PU, baby.
Yeet on that.
Yeet.
And Tom Selleck's mustache is way better than Dom's.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
But we shall see.
And he may have some double trouble, Dominic Mysterio, not just with his dad, but still, again, with that potential rumor for Survivor Series.
With John Cena.
Against John Cena.
The Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, the one title he has never won. Can you imagine,
Florio, if Dom were to beat both his dad and John Cena?
Oh,
he's going to rub it in all our faces and make sure we never forget about it.
Absolutely.
And God, I don't want that to happen.
Well, I don't know about. I know the rumor. I know the rumor is Dominic and John Cena at Survivor Series, but what about Dominic and Ray at Survivor Series? Because where is Survivor Series being held?
San Diego.
And where's their hometown?
San Diego.
San Diego.
Well, we'll wait and see what happens.
Ding, ding.
So, yeah. So there's really nothing more to say. So man, this just got interesting, Florio.
Segment of the night. Segment of the night. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, segment of the night, indeed.
Even though the other one wasn't too bad, but this I thought was better. Crowd was red hot for this, with the heels' ability to control the crowd on full display. Fun promo segment that did not reinvent the wheel, but reintroduced the father-son rivalry just in time for Survivor Series in their hometown of San Diego. Expect that match to make its way to the PLE card eventually. So, they could still do Dominic and Ray. Dominic and John Cena. Maybe in Boston. You never know. But I don't know. We'll see. And then Becky Lynch jumped on the announce table unexpectedly and cut a scathing promo on the last few weeks of her life, including the injury to her husband, Seth Rollins, and general manager Adam Pearce sending her home, and Maxine Dupree thinking she is in the same league as the man. She sent a warning to Dupree before welcoming her to the big time, a nod to her former big time Bex character. On her way up the ramp, she had an interesting confrontation with the Kabuki Warriors, potentially hinting at a partnership in time for Survivor Series War Games on November 29th. Becky Lynch is one of the best promos in the business, and the fact that she could hit as many topics as she did in this relatively short segment is reflective of it. She was excellent as she seethed over Dupree and the corrupt referee, Jessica Carr, trying to keep her down, but was equal parts hilarious and serious when she needed to be. So there isn't much more to say on
and
that.
she even brought up something, Florio, that I'm sure rubbed
something
New
very
Mexico the
interesting
wrong
that she
way.
did bring up. She did bring up the fact. That of course she did take a little shot at the people of New Mexico with the whole Breaking Bad thing. But yeah.
And about some kind of drug that they use.
Yeah, meth. Yes, meth.
As soon as
Speaking
I heard
of
that,
which,
I was
Becky Lynch mentioning the only good thing to come out of New Mexico was a TV show about how much meth you do in relation to Breaking Bad. Had even Wade Barrett cracking up in the background. Did you see him laughing?
I saw him. I mean, he was trying to hold it in, but he couldn't help but laugh.
That's what a good heel commentator is supposed to do.
Yeah, and that New Mexico crowd was all over Becky for that reason.
And as they should be.
They're like, if you want to talk stuff about us, but when you bring stuff up like that, no, that is out of bounds.
Yes. Tag team action. Bayley, Lyra Valkyria versus the Kabuki Warriors. Kabuki Warriors win the match 14 minutes and 5 seconds. After the match was over, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, the tag team champions, showed up. Bullock, it looks like we're on a collision course. Alexa and Charlotte versus the Kabukis for those women's tag team titles. Sign us up.
Oh, it's official, Florio. It's going to go down next week.
Oh, that's right. Yes, that's right. It's going to be in Boston. Yes.
Oh, yeah. It's going to go down next week. So
get ready, Boston.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So
1405.
Yeah, 3.5 stars is my rating for this match. And yeah, nice win for the Kabuki Warriors. But yeah, definitely they tried to attack Lyra and Bayley some more until Alexa and Charlotte definitely made the save. And now the two of them are going to defend those titles against the Kabuki Warriors. So we'll see what happens with that. So what's yours, Florio?
What was your rating again?
3.5.
Yeah, a 3.5 for me as well. Yes. All 4 women in this match are awesome and among the best competitors on the roster. They delivered a strong match that may have gotten a little too fancy for its own good, but executed the finish to perfection. The arrival of Charlotte and Alexa afterward continued to hint at a potential triple threat for the Women's Tag Team Championship in the near future. But as Bullock mentioned, we will see it next week in Boston, Monday Night Raw. Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss versus the Kabuki Warriors for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. Solid 3.5 stars. I agree with the rating. Let's move on. World Tag Team Championship return match. Champions AJ Styles and Dragon Lee defending against the former champions Finn Balor and JD McDonough. Winners of the match, 10 minutes and 30 seconds, and still the World Tag Team Champions, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. Quality follow-up to the TV Match of the Year candidate from 2 weeks ago between these teams. Action was top-notch. The story of Dominic trying but failing his teammates again will only propel the Judgment Day story going forward. And Sheamus has all of a sudden interjected himself into the IC title picture, where he will have a chance to win the one title that has eluded him. So we're going to have to wait and see on that. So 3.25, 3.5 for this. So Michael Bullock, it looks like we have another guest coming to that IC title table there. Sheamus. Let's not forget, he's never won that title either.
Yeah, he really wants to add the Intercontinental Championship to his career before his career is over. So, but yeah, 3.25, 3.5. I mean, no big surprise with the outcome here. And yeah, it is interesting that, like you said, now with maybe Sheamus now wanting a future shot at the title. So we'll see what happens. So nothing more to say. It's yours.
All right, set some house cleaning up here. Adam Pearce announced the first two matches of the John Cena tournament.
Last time
is now tournament. And the first two matches that are going to go down next week. But before we go into that, let's set the table for next week's show. Next Monday Night Raw. And if it's
in Boston, you know who's going to be there.
Yes, I will get to him in just a moment. We will have 2 championship matches. The Women's World Championship, Stephanie Vaquer will defend against Raquel Rodriguez. Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss to defend the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships against the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane. And the first 2 matches of the Last Time Is Now tournament, Rusev squaring off against Damian Priest, and Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sheamus. Whoa. Sounds like a couple of Be a Man fights right there. And of course, the one, the only, his second to last Monday Night Raw in his hometown of the TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts, John Cena. Cena himself will be there.
And I don't know if you saw the latest gear on WWE Shop for his... I
certainly did.
It's got that little bit of a Celtics theme to it.
Yes, sir. TD Garden.
And maybe we start the build to that potential rumor match for Survivor Series.
Maybe. We'll have to wait and see. Get us to Boston now. Main event of the evening. World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk and main event Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. It ends via a double countout in 10 minutes and 15 seconds. And then after the match was over, Logan Paul shows up and attacks CM Punk. And it looks to me like Logan Paul has aligned himself with Paul Heyman and the Vision. Whoa. Okay. Perfectly acceptable, albeit abbreviated bout, not unlike others featuring the same cast of characters in recent months. The fans were super into it, the action was well executed, and the outcome protected everyone from an unnecessary loss. The post-match involving Logan Paul and his alignment with the Vision creates intrigue for next week's show, and that is all one can ask for from weekly WWE television. It gives fans some kind of question to answer next week. I could probably say 3 to 3 1/4 for the main event. So, although we have every right to give it an NA, but the match was solid enough to warrant a rating. So, I'll give it 3 to 3 1/4. Not a fan of the double countout finish, but it is what it is. So, Michael Bullock, it ends in a double countout in 10-15. And then Logan Paul, surprise, surprise, takes out CM Punk and has aligned himself with Heyman and the Vision.
See the surprise look on my face, Florio. I mean, did you expect anything less from that little idiot?
Absolutely not.
That was for you, Dee Dee Woodson. Figured she'd like that, but yeah, 3 1/4. I mean, like you said, I have every right to give this an NA, but the match was just too good to give it an NA. So 3 1/4. So, and as far as my overall thoughts on this edition of Monday Night Raw, I thought it was a solid show. I mean, it definitely could have been better in some areas. So I'll give this an excess of 7 to 7.5. So Florio, quick thought before we get into NXT.
It was a marked improvement over Friday's flat SmackDown and Saturday night's main event, which felt like the coldest live event special WWE has run in recent memory. From a hot promo segment to start things, to quality in-ring action out of the women's division, to the renewal of Rey and Dominic Mysterio's rivalry, to another stellar tag team title match, this was hit after hit. Ending angle was a bit predictable, but Logan Paul aligning himself with Paul Heyman is an interesting development and should be worth exploring deeper in the coming weeks. Seeds were planted for key Survivor Series War Games matches and rivalries, and it'll be interesting to see how the company waters them over the next few weeks. Until then, Raw remains the best weekly television show produced by WWE. So, I'm actually gonna be a little more generous on this. I'm gonna give this in excess of 7.5 to 8 out of 10. So not much more to say. Rio Rancho, New Mexico. Hey, credit to you folks. Very, very good show from the Rio Rancho Event Center. So there's not much more to say on that. So now let us get into tonight's edition of NXT. Of course, as we all know, NXT live from the CWC, the Capitol Wrestling Center in Orlando, Florida. And okay, there we go. First match of the night. They wasted no time getting right into action this week. I wish Raw and SmackDown would do the same thing. Six woman tag team match. NXT Women's Champion Tatum Paxley, Izzy Dame, and Lola Vice with the Culling in their corner, squaring off against all three members of Fatal Influence, Jacy Jayne, Fallon Henley, and the newest member, Lainey Reed. Winners of the match in 10 minutes and 39 seconds, Fatal Influence picks up the win. Wow. I'll tell you what, so a little bit of a surprise outcome here. Well, not really a surprise outcome. I mean, Izzy Dame taking the pin for her team, clearly designed to set up tension with Tatum Paxley. Fatal Influence dominated and Vice. Both spent a lot of time in the ring while their opponents made quick tags to keep themselves fresh. Dame did not get involved until Paxley was about to be pinned, and the match lasted about 15 minutes. Had some good physicality, but nothing out of the ordinary for most of these women. Izzy taking the pin for her team is clinching with Tatum, and it will work because the seeds were already planted for their eventual breakup. The bout wasn't perfect, but it was a solid performance from 6 women who all look like they have bright futures on the main roster. 3.25, 3.5 stars. That's where I can go with it. And it is announced that that come Gold Rush, Jacy Jayne will get her rematch against Tatum Paxley for the NXT Women's Championship at the theater in Madison Square Garden in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, depending on when they decide to do it. So, because remember, it's a 2-week special. So, 3.25, 3.5. Michael Bullock, no surprise with the outcome. Jacy scores the winning fall. And with that, Jacy earns her rematch, and she will get her rematch as part of Gold Rush against Tatum Paxley, looking to regain the NXT Women's Championship, which could happen. It really could happen because remember, Izzy Dame is the wild card in all this.
Yeah, 3.25, 3.5 is my rating on it, and yeah, no surprise with the outcome. And like you said, Jacy Jayne now gets a shot at gets her rematch, and you know what? I'm gonna go on the record of saying this, Florio. I think Jacy's gonna retain the title because of Izzy Dame.
You mean regain the title?
I mean, you could do Izzy Dame and Tatum Paxley, and to me, you really don't need the NXT Women's title to do this rivalry. That's just my honest opinion on it. So there's really nothing more for me to say. So let's move on.
Promo segment: the TNA Knockouts champion Kalani Jordan cutting a scathing heel promo, booed mercilessly by the crowd, questioned why the crowd cheers for a cheater like Dominic Mysterio or Lola Vice for going to AAA, while booing her for doing the same thing.
And Cody Rhodes.
And Cody Rhodes, yeah, brought up Cody Rhodes. Yes, and awesome villain origin story promo that made her heel turn make logical sense. And you want to give a quick thought before I give you my thought?
I'm like, damn, girl, tell us how you really feel. I mean, my goodness.
Loved it.
I mean, she unleashed on everyone, and she basically ended it saying, I know there's an event called Gold Rush, and She's like, you know what? I'm not defending the title, and I'm not going to be like Tatum Paxley and be a fighting champion.
Oh, yes, you are defending the title. We're going to get into that in a little bit.
Well, here's a little message for you, you little bitch. I mean, there are some great women that may pave way for people like you, and for you to come out and act like that, you are. But the thing is, with Dom and Cody Rhodes, they're way more popular than you. So you're just jealous because you're not getting the recognition you deserve. But after what you did to Jordan Grace, the way you retain the title, you think you're going to get the respect like that? Let me think about that. Hell no, you ain't. So as far as I'm concerned, you're getting exactly what you deserve from this crowd. They don't like you. They don't respect you. Just like I don't like you and respect you. And you can take your rant and shove it up your ass. Booyah!
Awesome villain origin story promo that made her heel turn make logical sense. Jordan presented herself as one of those villains who are kind of right. The fans were kind of hypocrites, and the locker room was written to look petty. Fat asses and catchphrases was a great bar to call out shallow fans. NXT has been testing out turning Kalani heel for over a year, but they were really wishy-washy and not having her go fully over. She's clearly fully over now, and I'm looking forward to see her run with the ball as far as possible. We'll have to wait and see what happens with it. So, anyways, moving on, we had El Grande Americano. With the Americanos, they went up against El Grande Americano squared off against Josh Briggs, and El Grande Americano wins the match in 10 minutes and 49 seconds. So, it wasn't a bad match. It even had a couple of cool moments, like Americano doing a headstand to counter a headlock, but the battle as a whole didn't live up to what we know both of these men can do. We are dynamic with both men being heels, but the crowd was cheering for a lot of things both men did, so that made it even weirder at times. Lively crowd is always good, though. Decent match, but it could have been a lot better. Americano ended up winning thanks to a distraction from Tavion Heights and some interference from his fellow Grandes. So, I'll give this about 3 to 3 1/4. So, Michael Bullock, El Grande Americano, defeating Josh Briggs in 10:49. Bullock, are you there?
I'm sorry, I forgot to unmute my mic. So, yeah, I'll give this about 3 1/4. I mean, yeah, nice win for El Grande Americano here on NXT. So, yeah, there's really nothing more for me to add on to it.
Okay. Ava made a match for later in the show. Kalani Jordan versus Tyra May Steele. Very interesting. And then there was a split screen interview with Ricky Saints and Trick Williams. Had a split screen promo exchange. These have sometimes been done in an interview format, but there was nobody asking questions this time. It was them talking trash while sitting in different rooms. They eventually got angry and went to find each other for a fight. So nothing really to get into there. Then we had the first round of the women's speed tournament. Sol Ruca with Zarya squaring off against Ren Sinclair with Evolve Women's Champion Kendall Gray in her corner. The winner of the match, 2 minutes and 31 seconds. It is Zarya. Zarya headlining will be heading into the finals. That will take place at Gold Rush at the Paramount in a couple weeks or 3 weeks, depending on when they want to do it, because it's a 2-week special, as we all know. And she will meet the winner of the other match that will take place on next week's show, Fallon Henley versus Skylar Ray. And Skylar Ray, oh, by the way, happens to be Danny Sikelski, who was the winner of LFG Season 2, the women's winner of LFG Season 2. So we're going to get to see her make her in-ring debut next week. So let's get ready for our next matchup here. Kalani Jordan versus the women's winner of LFG Season 1, Tyra May Steele. And Kalani Jordan wins the match in 4 minutes and 58 seconds. And then after the match was over, TNA Director of Authority, Santino Marella, appeared on the big screen. And he announced that at Gold Rush, Kalani Jordan will defend the TNA Knockouts Championship in a triple threat match against Lei Ying Lee and Jordan Grace. Good. Justice served. Thank you, Santino. So, as far as the speed match goes, it was quick by design due to the 3-minute time limit. What they did was good, but those matches are never going to be satisfying because they are done so fast. And despite a good fight from Tyra May Steele, Kalani Jordan scored the win after a few minutes. Another example of a match that felt like it was just finding its groove when it came to an end. And Jordan has gotten so much more comfortable as a heel, both in the ring and on the mic. And Tyra May Steele has good physicality and fundamentals. Her biggest weakness right now is charisma. But despite what some people say, that can be learned. She will have a good career if she keeps progressing. Saquon Sugars squaring off against Javon Evans. And the winner of the match, 13 minutes and 32 seconds, Javon Evans wins the match. Fight of the night, 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. High energy, high impact fight that made both competitors look good. They found their footing right away and worked well as opponents. Evans rallied late in the bout and hit several of his signature moves before getting the win. He managed to escape before the rest of Dark State pounced. Sugars often feels overshadowed by the other members of Dark State because he is not in the tag title matches, but he is the best talker in the group and possibly the best wrestler. So there isn't not much more to say. 3.5, 3 3/4 fight of the night for me. So Michael Bullock, Javon Evans defeating Saquon Sugars of Dark State 13-32.
Yeah, 3.5 to 3 3/4 for me as well. I mean, yeah, you expect nothing less, especially with when Javon Evans is in a match. You know you're expecting something really good out of it. So, and that is what we got here. So, yeah, really got nothing more to say. So let's move on.
And let's set the table for next week's show. Next week, El Grande Americano versus Jasper Troy for the men's speed championship, and Ricky Saints and Trick Williams last man standing match for the NXT championship. We ended the show tonight with not only a promo segment, but a campy comedy segment as well, to be honest. The show ended with Chelsea Green and Ethan Page holding a celebration for winning the AAA Mixed Tag Team Championships this past Sunday night. There was a cake in the ring that was obviously hiding someone ready to jump out. They said his name and he appeared, Joe Hendry. He showed up and it was Thea Hale popping out of the cake. And it is announced that we're looking at a AAA Mixed Tag Team Championship match with Ethan Page and Chelsea Green versus Joe Hendry and Thea Hale. Tonight's episode left a lot to be desired. Evans versus Sugars was the biggest highlight of the night in the ring, and the ending segment had some fun, but everything else felt rushed or lacked excitement. NXT is such a hot and cold brand sometimes. One week will be a lot of fun, and the next week will feel like a chore to watch. The one consistent thing is that the talent never gives less than 100%. Sometimes effort is not enough to overcome bad booking. So I'll give this in excess of 6 to 6.5 out of 10. Michael Bullock, quick thought, and then we'll get into a quick preview of Thursday Night Football here.
Oh, I did it again. 6.5. So nothing more to say. Let's get into Thursday Night Football.
Thursday Night Football will take place Thursday night from from Empower Field in Mile High in Denver, as it will feature the Las Vegas Raiders squaring off against the Denver Broncos from the aforementioned Sports Authority Empower Field at Mile High. Thursday Night Football, Amazon Prime Video. You already know who's working that, of course. That being the legendary Al Michaels alongside of Kirk Herbstreit and Kaylee Hartung. Denver opening up as a 9-point favorite in this one. Can't say I'm surprised with that. And the series history when it comes to these legendary rivals, it favors. I'm almost certain it favors the Denver Broncos here. So bear with me 1 second here as I pull up the history here. Hopefully this works. No, it doesn't. Okay, didn't work. All right, no problem. I got this. So 73-56 with 2 ties. I'm going to do a combination of regular season and playoffs because that's what I was given here. So their last meeting was November 24th of last year in Las Vegas. Denver winning 29-19. Last meeting in Denver, October 6th of last year, Denver winning. Raiders' last win in Denver was actually opening day 2023, a 17-16 final in favor of the Las Vegas Raiders. So, but the Raiders do lead the all-time series. So, 2 playoff games, by the way. So, let's not waste much time. Let's just dive right on in here. It's a high spread for a division game, but the Broncos pass rush will force a few turnovers from Geno Smith. The Raiders have been outscored 112-30 in their last 3 road losses. Tight end Brock Bowers, who had 127 yards and 3 touchdowns last week, did not play in 2 of those losses. It still feels like the Broncos have control at home, even if they are 1-3 against the spread when favored by more than 7. And also, the Broncos are dipped in the offense perform best. They also proved their defense remains nasty all around when not having Patrick Surtain II in pass coverage. Raiders worked until the end of overtime in Week 9 and will come in weary for a tough all-around game with one Super Bowl winning coach, Sean Payton, getting the better of the other in Pete Carroll. 30-17, give me the Denver Broncos to defeat the Las Vegas Raiders. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, take us home, Bullock. I got Denver winning 30-17.
Yeah, I got Denver being the Vegas Raiders in this one. I mean, I just think Denver is playing really good right now, and I expect them to continue on this roll. So, give me the Denver Broncos to win. So Floria, let's put a bow on this night.
And that will put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in. As always, we'll be back with you again on Thursday night right back here on the Tone 25 for the Week 11 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday. And when we do our previews, it will be reflective of the college football playoff rankings. So keep that in mind. We'll get into all the games on Thursday night. And then Friday night, NFL Friday, we'll recap the Raiders and the Broncos, get into all the other remaining games. And due to a family commitment that I have on Saturday night, and time permitting, we're going to try to sneak in a rapid-fire recap of SmackDown. So that's the plan for now. And then 1 week from tonight, we do it all over again. Ridiculously Raw, Monday Night Raw, NXT. The following week's Thursday Night Football game, we'll get into that. And that's it. So until Thursday night for the Week 11 edition of TXN Sports World College Football Thursday, this is Anthony Florio here for the Phenom, Michael Bullock, and in spirit, good old MF Michael Fletcher. And, of course, our First Lady, the aforementioned Dee Dee Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up Fortune Forest style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed couple of days. And until Thursday night, For the Week 11 edition of College Football Thursday, you've been watching Ridiculously Raw right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube and Streaming.com. And remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you beyond anything else, wrestling is indeed actually real. For everybody who has been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Florio, so long, and bye, everybody, bye.